I'm Paul Sims, and I'm here with
Joe Rogan.
Andy Dick.
And Lou Morton.
Andy. You were just saying before we started that you had a funny anecdote you remembered?
No, I just remember there's a physical bit that where I hurt myself in this one.
You genuinely hurt
I
yourself.
twisted something. It wasn't good.
What did you twist?
You might see it. I don't remember, but you might see it in my face.
Oh, is this where the floor was slippery?
Yes, with change.
Oh, I remember that.
You remember that? I was like
dude.
skating or something.
Yeah.
I went nuts on it. It wasn't.
That's Dave
Al
Higgins.
Dave Higgins. That's Dave
Al
Higgins.
Higgins' brother, playing
Santa.
the scary Santa.
I am going to kill you.
This was our idea of a Christmas-themed episode that would air sometime around the holidays.
Why?
So,
That's what
Why
Andy
does
always
he wanna
complained.
kill
Our show
him? I
has
don't
no
know.
heart. Our show's cruel. Remember, you used to always say that? Our show doesn't have a heart.
Yeah.
Andy,
angry
starting
he is.
like in season 2, we would always end the cold open with you falling down or doing something
Yep.
physical. Did you enjoy that, or did you grow to hate it?
I loved it. I loved
Even
it.
all the way
I
till
got
the
sad
end?
when you stopped doing it.
Well, we had to stop doing it because the network said we were doing it too much.
Enough with it.
That's
Isn't that Tone
Tone
Loc?
Loc.
That's Tone Loc.
And then, what's his name?
And that's Toby Huss. right
Toby
there.
Huss.
Yeah.
Toby's a funny dude.
He's
This
awesome.
was, I believe,
He's in a great Bjork video.
This is the second time we used
Oh, what an
these two.
oxymoron that is. A great Bjork video.
Now,
They
As
are
if.
good.
As if.
now,
They're
Lou, you
good.
wrote this episode, correct?
Lou
Correct?
wrote this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lou Morton?
Yeah. Andy,
Okay.
ask Lou some questions about the writing process.
So, how would it go? Wait, here, the change is about to fall. Look at how,
Actually,
look
I
at
have
that.
to
That is
confess.
precarious. That is precarious.
I got to confess that I'm
Yes.
being a dick because I've never even seen a Bjork video, nor do I know a Bjork song. I just kind of like went with the stereotype.
They
That
do
can't
good
possibly
videos.
be good.
No, they're
angle.
good videos.
Why don't you just send
Michelle
Okay.
Condrey.
I believe it.
Look.
Here we go.
So, Andy, you're saying, look, because you're about to do
Because-
something?
Yeah, well,
You were all padded up, right? With a butt pad and a back
wait,
pad.
please.
Careful, Matthew.
Oh.
Careful.
That was a close one.
Okay, here, just take my hand.
No,
I'll-
I'm fine.
All right.
Ooh, yeah, that looks like it hurt.
That was
I
a hard
heard-
floor.
I
Didn't they
heard-
put
How's it
pads on
going,
you?
Andy?
I hurt myself.
What doing those pratfalls, there was a whole collection of things to use. There's what did they call the thing that they put like on your back or your butt?
An armadillo.
And that's the technical name for it?
Yeah, it protected your spine. It bent like your spine. It was like putting on a second spine. Hey, what?
Well, I
That's
think we
what-
all know how that feels.
Now,
what it
did the
was.
network actually say that Andy had to stop falling down?
Yeah, Don Olmeyer at the time said he
him?
was getting tired of that.
It is now my pleasure to present to you our present to Mr. James.
Lou,
Lou,
what was
yes?
your inspiration for this episode?
I had fear at never having written a full episode of a television before.
Is
This
that
was your
before?
first one.
Yeah.
This is your first one. Wow.
The first one with your name?
And
And how did that happen? Did they assign it to you? They came up
This
with
was
kind of a
like-
story, and they're like, Lou, you write that one.
of the years I was here, this was like one of two that my name is on, and I wrote an entire first draft of.
Mr. James? Yeah. On behalf of all the staff here, Merry Christmas.
Well, thank you. Thank you all for this wonderful.
How close is this episode that aired to the first draft you wrote? Very close, or like 70% close?
It's probably like 90 minutes shorter for one thing.
You had like an hour-long version, like a 70-page version.
All our first drafts were like 70 pages long. And then you get cut down to,
Serious?
like,
Yeah, and you guys used to complain that the table redraft was like 63. You had no idea what we'd already cut out.
my God.
remember when we sometimes would just get like 10 more pages?
Yes.
We would be able to we'd wait a
of
couple
the-
hours, and then, okay, we have 10 pink pages, and we'd get these pages. and-
Yeah, we were not so well organized as writers.
But
This
it
is
was
where they're
fun.
getting their
Yeah, it was
presents.
This is I remember this being a very good episode for Matthew's character.
Yeah,
There was a
it
lot
was.
of you had a lot of funny stuff to do in this.
Yeah, I like this one.
Is everybody excited?
Now, Joe,
Yes, Paul.
your favorite curse word? No, I don't know. Andy,
What?
ask us more questions.
They got
What-
a hat? I'm still trying to figure it out. I thought they were getting keys.
Oh no,
No,
this
that's
is no.
later.
I think this is you're thinking of a different one. But Andy, I like you as the interviewer. What?
Yeah,
what did,
you
I
were
thought this
doing
was the
good.
Miata.
No, I don't know.
Oh, you don't.
That's
even
later.
know.
No.
Now I feel
All the
really
clips
ripped
later
off.
in the
I don't
episode.
still have one of these hats.
I know. I think, Andy, when the show was over, did you take any souvenirs? Did you steal anything and take it home and keep it?
I wanted to get that piece of art that hangs in there. It's like that brass starburst.
Uh-huh.
Weird. You might be able to see it.
But you didn't get
it's
it.
real retro, like from the 60s. It was too big to put in my trunk. I did take, I just remembered, I will confess to you.
Here we go.
There was this really great, like, cart, a metal cart, real industrial on wheels. And I took it. I still have it. I put a TV on it.
Nice.
It was
So
not
that
being
wasn't
So it
used
wasn't
like-
even a souvenir. You're just stealing furniture.
furniture. Well, we got those great, like, I still have my WNYX mugs.
I get
those yellow
asked for
mugs.
those sometimes. Like,
I
where
have
can you get a
them.
WNYX mug?
Joe,
I
did you
like
take
that.
any souvenirs from the set when the show was over?
I took all my clothes. I have all the clothes that I ever wore. pretty
Again, that's
much.
not as nothing sentimental.
Yes, and I took the space suit, the white space suit.
Oh, did you really?
Yes, well, but we were allowed to.
Oh, that's
yes,
cool.
I had that.
No,
Remember-
actually, you weren't allowed to, Andy.
Well, what?
Do you remember when Llewellyn made us pillows? She cut up some of Phil's wardrobe
No,
and made
she
pillows
took.
out of
No,
it.
it was made out of a piece of fabric from each character's wardrobe.
Yes.
That's what it
I
was.
wonder where mine is.
Was it?
Yeah, it was.
'Cause I thought it was made out of. I thought it was pillows that were made out of
No,
Phil's
there was
wardrobe.
there's a piece of Phil's shirt and a piece of a skirt that Vicky had worn and a piece of your
Was
shirt.
everybody's different? Because mine is all his shirts.
That sounds really cool. Now, Andy, you were saying you lost yours already?
The pillow?
I
Just discarded it?
No,
Whoa,
I would never
tossed
throw
it.
away a piece of art.
He caught on
Ever.
fire one night.
It's probably in storage. I moved recently.
No, 6 actually, because remember.
Andy, did you ever remember getting angry during these first 2 seasons, or upset, or
Oh, yeah.
about what?
Well, I used to get upset that some people would think that I was high when I wasn't. But then if I was high, everything was fine. You guys didn't know there was a whole, like, you were putting me in a bad position because, honestly, you would, if I was like really crazy, you thought I was high, but really I was just sober and crazy.
You
And you
a
would
d-
take me aside and say, I remember one time you followed me to the bathroom during a show, like you thought I was going in there doing like drugs.
Were you?
No, I was peeing.
Where
weren't
were
doing
you
drugs.
doing
No,
drugs
I wasn't
then?
doing drugs.
Oh.
So you never did any drugs ever.
I
during
never
the
said
entire time?
that.
Okay, just checking.
I was the one time he followed me though.
You-
You never knew.
You did seem to, we knew. You did seem to have, you'd either be living super, super clean and healthy, or then
It was a roller coaster life for me.
it's the true Hollywood story.
It was up and down back then. I was going through a lot. You know what? I remember being upset at the girls I was going out with in my trailer screaming on the phone.
Really?
Yeah. I remember that.
Didn't seem to affect your work at the show, though.
It just helped it because I would be just more anxious and frustrated. Really, for my character, that was good.
Joe, you ever remember getting upset? Anything bother you during
Oh,
these
and,
first
and
2
I
seasons?
I was
Nothing
I was
terrible.
upset at Joe a
I don't
lot.
think not this early on
One
in the
time
show.
Joe made me punch. I mean, he didn't make no one, but I got so upset I punched a wall because
that
of
was because
something
Andy
Joe
was
said.
eating garlic. He was eating
Oh,
raw
yeah,
garlic.
that was it.
And we had to do
And-
these scenes, and I was
But
like,
yet
dude,
you were
your
smoking
breath
cigars.
is killing me.
But yet he was smoking cigars on
Okay,
the stage.
no, I wasn't smoking cigars that day.
Not that day.
But I never smoked cigars. But we had to have a really
Well, please,
close-up
I don't want to punch
scene.
another wall.
Did cigars smell as
I
bad,
don't
you
even want to
think,
get back
on
into
your
it.
breath as
I don't want to
garlic
get back
does?
into it.
This is the old chemistry that the people
Garlic
are
is
tuning
a
in
normal food. Yes, I smelled a little spicy that day.
for. Spicy.
It was
Big deal.
The only problem was that we had to do this thing where you had to whisper in my face,
Well,
and it was brutal.
I know, it was harsh.
And then
And I just told you it was brutal, and you got mad.
You didn't just say it was brutal. You
I go, dude,
yelled
your breath
at
is
me.
killing me. No, I didn't yell at
Yes,
you.
I wish I had a videotape of that.
Andy, I didn't yell at you. It's
I'm
not
sure
true.
you
Do you
did. I
think he
actually don't
yelled?
remember because I blocked it out because it's too.
Andy, there's no way
Do
I
you
would
think
yell
he-
at you because your
but
breath smells.
Was it maybe his tone that was like a yelling tone
Yes,
more
he
than an
was-
actual
no,
yell?
you
It
were
was
there,
more
he
like,
yelled.
dude, your breath is killing
No,
me. It is
but
disgusting.
No, but you would never say anything like that. You'd go, dude, your breath is disgusting. That's how you would be, dude.
I
Don't
think
you
that's how,
remember?
when it made its way through your ear and into your
you
mind.
would be screaming. You made
amplified.
the girls cry.
Made the girls cry.
Yes, he did. That was back in the day.
We
though. He
had
was
you
very
know what? We
aggro
just
person.
had to figure each other out.
I just never knew each week coming down to the set whether you guys were going to be in love or whether you were going to be.
You know
fighting.
what? It was never bad. It was never where like if he ever yelled at me or I yelled at him or anything, we could always just hug. I'm sorry, dude, and it would be.
We
Yeah,
always
that's
worked
true,
it
and
out.
it was
Always.
nice that it was all out in the open. It
Tone
wasn't one of those
low.
things where you guys couldn't be in the same room. or
you
anything.
have to.
No, we're
we had
very
to work it out. We were
similar.
together for so many years.
We're both very similar in that if something's
Yeah.
bothering us, we don't hide it and we don't play Hollywood. We just immediately say, "Dude, stop it," or whatever. And but we always knew that we loved each other. There's
This
no
is
problem.
the Miata thing.
It is the Miata thing, and
Hang on.
I don't know if this is part of the story, but that is the weirdest sweater
I
of all the
know.
weird
My
sweaters you
hair is
ever wore.
freaking me out too.
Golden age of broadcasting when they didn't have to do all that dirty stuff.
But Andy, I don't want to keep harping on this, but so he said, "Dude, your breath is atrocious."
I forgot about the garlic
Sometimes
part.
he would come in a little, how shall we say,
Sleepy.
yeah, and a little agitated, a little easily rubbed.
Yeah, I was probably easily rubbed the wrong way. Yeah.
Yeah, and then, that's why, "Dude, your breath is killing me" sounds like, "Dude, your breath is killing me."
All right, whatever. maybe.
Whatever.
I think he yelled.
Either way,
You're right.
well,
It's
any
water under the
drama that we
bridge.
had, it was never
Water under the
real,
bridge.
and we always had fun together.
Yeah.
And working, seriously, no BS. Working with you was probably the most fun I've ever, the most I've laughed ever doing anything, acting, without a doubt. I mean, we had some
We had so much
funny,
fun.
funny moments.
Yeah. This was a great.
I have a weird question, Joe. Do you think you learned anything from your fellow cast members doing the show?
Oh, definitely. Well, I never acted before. So, you learn just watching different people's performance styles. I remember with Phil, I was very impressed at how he prepared.
How would he prepare?
He prepared so much. I mean, he was constantly going over his lines and rehearsing. Every delivery was, instead of like, well, Andy and I think we're both very similar in that we just kind of like tried to do it however it seemed like the right way to do it. Where Phil prepped every line and went over it and over it with a fine-tooth comb, and you would always catch him like sitting at his desk, like mumbling to himself, going over his lines, and that was really impressive, With Dave, I was always impressed at how much he could ad-lib and his
So
just
sharp.
boundless, storage of weird information that he had in his mind, Candy, I was always impressed at her ass. It's always very impressive.
Andy, what about you? I mean, you'd done a lot of sketch comedy and done a lot of
Yes.
stuff. But was there anything new that you learned in doing this?
I think I was able to find the balance between the writing that you guys had and maybe improvising here and there. You can't improvise every damn line.
Yeah.
It was really flawless writing. But every once in a while, Dave might come up with a line and whisper it to me, or sometimes I would come up with a line, or a move, or a pratfall.
And
Can I see this part, actually?
Yeah,
Andy,
actually,
that's as retarded as you've ever looked.
I remember.
in your whole
I
career.
do look retarded.
I
What
remember
am I doing?
particularly enjoying this that Matthew's listening to the old time radio show.
McGee.
And,
Yeah.
So
Molly.
trying to pretend like I'm not upset. Because I'm really upset that everyone got a car. Don't I get really angry here? Oh, yeah.
Don't just ask Mr. James.
that is so silly.
Look, I'm no etiquette expert, but I think
One of the cool things about this show that nobody does know is how much you guys allowed us to ad lib.
Yeah.
I mean, that was one of
encouraged
the
us
coolest
to have
things.
Fun.
Yeah, we
I
loved
mean,
it. It was fun coming down and seeing a run through and seeing new stuff that
Uh-oh.
that
Well, I didn't realize
I
how rare that was, though,
Oh,
until
yeah,
I
it is
tried
rare.
to do. You do
Yeah.
guest spots on other sitcoms. You talk to them about how they do it, and there's
it's
none
by
of
the
that
book.
going on. Everybody just sticks to the script.
Look
and
at my
it's-
vitamins. Those are my actual herbs I was taking.
Yeah, with the little
still take
Jody
those.
Man put little stickers over the
yeah,
labels.
Greeking them out. I still take those.
that still cracks me up.
That's so weird.
Joe, it looks like you're maybe trying not to laugh there again.
Probably.
you okay there, Matthew?
What?
Are you all right? Are you all right? Are you okay?
Yeah. There's just.
So now we're just watching it
heard
again.
Wait, I want to see what happens. What happened?
I heard of Fibber McGee and Molly on the radio not too long ago, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember this, and I wrote that in because I liked it when I was a kid, and I was like, okay, I'll see it, and it sucks.
No.
It's really
some of
shocking.
them
We
It's
were
like
talking about
you
that.
listen to all old Jack Benny's, and those shows are really funny. Then
Andy, who are the actors or comedians or whoever that when you were a kid made you want to grow up and do this?
Jack Benny is one of them. Yeah, when you mentioned he's so good. But of course, I wasn't born in the 30s. He's from the 50s, right? But I really liked Don Knotts. Did you know that? You knew that.
I thought you were always joking when you said that.
No, I
mean, I
like
liked
him.
Don Knotts too, but I always thought you were
liked him.
joking.
No, because I was little, so his
Yeah.
way of acting was funny to me.
In seriousness, did you?
Peter Sellers, that's when I learned that you can just be real subtle and still be screamingly funny.
Yeah,
But to what extent
love
did you
that.
model yourself on Don Knotts?
What?
To what extent do you
Not
model yourself
I
on
think
Don
just
Knotts?
because physically we're both skinny, and if you watch him, even though he's kind of over the top, it's real. Oh wait.
Yes, he did.
I like this part too. I don't know if that was the first time, but it was one of many times where Matthew would say, "Huh."
No, it was. We had been using "huh" so
Oh,
much,
really?
it became
Is that
like
what it was?
we were always trying to come up with new ways to use "huh," and
And I got some scratchy tapes of some stupid old dead people telling a lot of jokes about junk falling out of a closet.
That's very good.
That is.
Oh, this is a classic.
Oh, yeah, that's easy for you to say when you're driving around the office in your brand new car.
What the?
Now, Andy, you went through a period where you were always trying to work in the phrase "what up."
Yes.
You remember that?
Yes.
Yes. Because my brother says "what up," and I think it's the dumbest phrase I've ever heard.
I remember.
Not "what's up."
No, what up?
What up?
I
What up?
know. But I remember it got to a point where at rehearsals and run-throughs, you would
shove it in
you would
there.
shove "what up" in there, but sort of be looking out of the corner of your eye at us, like, are you gonna let me get away with it this
Yeah.
time?
it was like a battle of wills between Andy and Paul. About
Yeah,
what up.
sometimes.
What up?
You did not want me to say "what up" or sniff anything.
Remember that? Remember the
Two
sniffing
things I
thing?
always wanted to
Andy,
do.
don't sniff that.
And by doing those two things, Paul saved the show.
I
That's
do
all it
remember.
took.
I do remember being aggravated by you wanting to have your character sniff things.
I
Just seemed
know.
so. Ugh.
I know. That's what I liked about it. Oh,
Joe, what about you when you were a kid? As far as was it more stand-ups?
I
and
never thought I was ever going to be a comedian, ever. I was talked into it by my friends. I mean, that was when I was 21. I mean, I always loved listening to comedy. I always loved like old Richard Pryor tapes and old Bill Cosby tapes and stuff. I always listened to those when I was a kid, but I never thought I was going to be a comedian.
What did you think you were going to be?
A kickboxer. I thought I was going to be a professional fighter. It's just it was not
Sounds
enough
like a
money in
joke,
it.
but it's true.
It is true. I fought, and I fought in a lot of tournaments, and I just realized that if you get hit in the head, it makes you dumb, and I decided to stop doing that. And then when I started doing comedy, it was like I was still fighting at the same time, and I just realized I had to pick a road to get on it. So
So
went with
your
comedy.
friends told you one day that you should just get
yeah,
up on
I
stage?
just guys. Well, I would make my friends laugh in the locker room, just making fun of our friends or making fun of a bad date or whatever. I mean, it's the most unlikely scenario ever. I was never thought I was funny. I thought my friends thought I was funny because they were my friends, and other people would just think I'm a dick, And so that's how I became a comedian.
And were you nervous the first time you went up
Oh
on
yeah.
stage?
Oh, I was terrified. I couldn't believe how nervous I was. The first time I got on stage, I thought it was going to be. I'd fought in front of hundreds of people, thousands of people even. I thought, how hard could this be? I'm just going to stand on stage and talk, but it was just so bizarre. The bright light and all the people are silhouettes, and your voice sounds so weird, amplified through a microphone. And I had no theater training, no anything training. I was just a wise ass kid.
What was your first set like?
Oh, it was horrifying. It was terrible.
What are you talking
mine
about?
too.
I talked
I
about
got booed
girls
off
with
the stage.
girls with big boobs getting out of speeding tickets and a couple other dumb
Andy,
premises.
what was the first time you went on stage?
Well, I did stand-up comedy. Well, the first
like-
time
what
was
was, like,
I
the
was in
very
the
first
I was in the
time?
Prince and the Pauper.
Was that
I
in
was
school?
like 12.
Well, that doesn't count. What was the first professional time?
Well, no, but then I tried to do some stand-up for a contest. Uh-oh, it's Killer Santa.
Why are you doing this to me? Do I have your complete attention, Neil? Yes.
So you tried doing stand-up?
And I went on stage and I got booed off the stage.
Do you remember the jokes?
You got booed?
Yeah, it was horrible.
Where was this?
It was in Bloomington, Illinois, at Illinois Wesleyan University at a bar.
And so you got booed off stage, but something made you go back and try again, right?
I guess. Although that night I
No, you did. You did. You tried it again.
I did, obviously.
You actually ended up making a
swore that I
career
would
of it.
never
I'm
do it
pretty sure.
again that night. I
Really?
was so upset.
What sucks worse than bombing? There's nothing, right?
Oh, I cried all night. I swore I would never. I hated anything that resembled an audience. If there was 3 or more people, I hated them.
There's
Paul-
nothing like that
Paul,
sinking feeling.
Did you know how close Josh and I came to finally realizing our dream of being the vaudeville comics Morton and Lieb, of actually going on in front of an audience?
No.
Morton and
Very
Lieb.
close. Very close.
That could have worked. What happened?
I refused to do it at the last minute. I called his
Were you? You had a gig booked?
And where was this?
Josh,
Where was this going
at
to be?
M Bar.
Oh, that's funny.
You had a gig there?
Oh, then let's get back to the show.
Horrible. Yeah.
What about performing on the show? Did you guys ever get nervous before tape night or not?
Yes.
You did?
Sometimes. Yeah, I did. Sometimes I'd be a little jittery. I would just use it for my character.
Joe?
If I didn't feel like I had the lines totally memorized, then I would be like a little jittery. You know, if things had changed, you know, like if it was like some last minute stuff. But normally I'd just be excited, and it was always so fun.
Yeah.
You know, and it was
Mostly
always, even,
excited.
I mean, our worst episode was still funny. And
Yeah.
it was always so fun to do. It was just, I mean, like I said before, I mean, there was many times where the audience was there and we were all standing around. I was like, how lucky is this? How rare is this moment? I mean, so many shows just suck so bad, and to be in a cast where everyone is talented in such a weird way and the writing is so good and everyone's unconventional. I mean, it was just such a weird situation, such a rare treat.
Speaking of weirdness, I remember the end of this episode being really weird. Don't we?
We sort of kill the character.
Yeah, I know.
don't
It's
This is
basically
creepy. Look at this.
He cut the brake lines on Phil's car. And that's the end of the episode.
Man,
We
it's
just
so
assume he
dark. I
got
never-
home okay.
Yeah, somehow it all managed to work out for him. Andy, read the people's names. I like it when you do
Dawn
that.
DeKaiser, I love her. Lou, there you are. There's
Keep going, come on.
Leslie, casting. Oh, there's Dave
Tone
Higgins,
Loc.
Tone Loc, Toby Huss. We love them. Greg Hershog, Tony
Heshog.
Ham. Oh, I don't remember. Okay, Michael Gray. Wait, okay, Mike Post.
Come on.
Linda Cooper. There's
Jody Mann.
Lou Ellen. Lou Ellen won an Emmy for wardrobe. There's the production staff. 1995. I just saw that.